Hello learners at home. I'm your JS3 English teacher, Teacher Christiana Igbanugo. I'm here today to teach you argumentative essay or argumentative composition. I believe that in your previous classes, probably in JS1 or JS2 or even in primary school, you must have been engaged in some kinds of debate in your classrooms. Argumentative essay is nothing more than debate. The second word for it is debate. Argumentative essay involves a logical argument, a kind of argument that is sensible. That is what I mean by logical. Trying to argue on a given topic, trying to prove a point, trying your best to convince your audience to agree with you on your own view upon a particular opinion. That is a argumentative essay or composition. But why we call it composition or essay is because it is written down. So argumentative composition is a type of writing that involves having two sides on a particular subject matter or topic, in which the writer chooses a side to stand for. And the most important thing is to stand and convince your audience to accept your own point on that particular topic. Now, argumentative composition involves certain things. Like I said before, you argue a point, you try to prove that your point is correct. You try to show that what you are saying is correct. You may be saying something wrong, but because you are very sure of your point and you are able to convince your audience, you win the debate. So that is argumentative essay. Now, if you want to write an argumentative essay, there are some certain tips that you need to know. You need to have certain tips in your mind. First of all, there must be a formal greeting. If in case you are to debate it, in case you are to say it verbally on a stage, you have to greet the audience. First of all, the formal greeting involves you have to greet by saying good morning. Depending on the time of the day, you can say good day, you can say good morning. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, moderator, panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, my co-debaters. I hear some people saying co-debaters is very wrong. It's co-debaters. My fellow students, that is if you are debating in a school setting. Good morning or good afternoon, or just greet according to the time of the day when you are debating. And then when you finish your formal greeting, you should introduce yourself. You can say, my name is Bukola Thomas. I'm here to propose the motion that is the introduction. When you give your introduction, you begin to tell us, I'm here to propose the motion that, for example, boys perform better than girls in English studies. For example, in such a topic, you tell us, first of all, you've told us your topic. The next thing to do is to highlight and discuss your points. It's very important for you to discuss your points. Now, in discussion of your points, you don't just jump into the argument. You first of all try to highlight your points. With the following points of mine, you begin to tell us, issue out the points in order, and your points should have chronological relationship from one point to the other, and those points you have to elaborate on them. If you tell us that first of all, if you are saying that boys perform better than girls in English language, you now tell us, first of all, let's assume your point is that boys concentrate more in classroom at this stage in life. You begin to elaborate how. You have to tell us a lot for us to accept your point and accept that what you're saying is actually true. That is argumentative essay. You highlight your point, you discuss your points. And now let me remind you, debate or argumentative composition is not a quarrel. You are not quarreling, you don't insult someone, you don't coerce people by sounding abusive. You sound gentle, you sound polite, but at the same time you sound firm. Try to make people see through your own opinion. Try to make people know that what you're saying is actually true. After all, you are able to defend your point. That is why it is true. Based on your own opinion, someone else may have another opinion. Now, that is what makes debate to have two sides. In a debate or argumentative composition, we have two sides. What do I mean by two sides? We have those we call the proposers, and we have those we call the opposers. Proposers are usually those who are supporting the point. They are saying that the topic chosen is true, and they try their best to convince the audience to accept their opinion that that topic is true. Let's assume when you say village life is better than city life, proposers are those who are supporting the motion by saying that village life is actually true, it's actually better than city life, with the following points. They begin to highlight their points, elaborate their points, and trying their best to convince the audience to accept that their point is true. Then the opposers are those who are saying otherwise. They are saying that instead of village life being better than city life, that city life is rather better than village life. That is opposers. Opposers always oppose the motion. They stand against the motion. They don't just stand against the motion without points. They stand against the motion with their points to convince. Whatever point they have to present, they try their best to make people accept their own opinion about the topic. That is a debate. So each side tried their best to convince the listeners or the audience of the debate panel. We have conclusion. When you must have finished elaborating, highlighting your points, discussing your points, the next thing to do in your debate is to conclude your points. Having discussed your points, you now try to tell the audience, I hope with the following points of mine, I've been able to convince you. You don't need to start saying, I know some students have a slogan to convince and not to confuse you. That point is not actually very relevant. Just say, I hope with the few points of mine, I've been able to convince you with these points. Now, when you say that, the audience is now left for the audience to either feel convinced by your points. But the most important thing is that you've been able to give your points and to defend your points. Now, let's look at some argumentative essay or argumentative composition topics. Let's look at them. The first topic I have is village life is better than city life. Village life is better than city life. That is the first argumentative essay topic. Now, let's assume we are writing on this topic. How do we begin? You begin by having a caption. You are writing. Remember, we say composition or essay. We are writing now. We are not yet debating. You are not just supposed to start your debate by writing the body of the debate. Begin by a caption with that topic, village life is better than city life. The next thing to do is to greet, the formal greeting that I pointed out. Good morning, for example, good morning, Mr. Chairman, moderator, panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, my co-debaters, fellow students, ladies and gentlemen, depending on your audience. Greeting is subjective to the audience you have. There is no strict law that says that you must say a particular name for the greet. If you are debating somewhere, you know the type of audience you have there, so include them in your greeting. Now, having greeted the audience, you mention your topic, introduce your topic by starting by saying your name. I am Jessica John. I'm here to propose the motion that village life is better than city life, with the points of mine. You begin to tell us, explain certain concepts. First of all, what is a village or what is a city? Many people may not even know the meaning of village or the meaning of city. You explain briefly what the concept you're debating on means. When you have explained the concepts, the next thing is to tell us your points. Highlight your points. First of all, let me give you an example. Village life is better than city life because life is relatively cheap in the village. You begin to tell us how do you think life is cheap in the village. Things are affordable. Certain things are obtained from the farm. Transportation is cheap in the village. People can trek to places because the place environment is safe. You tell us your points, and when you're done elaborating your point, you come to the conclusion that you have been able to convince us that village life is better than city life. That is what we call a debate. Remember, you don't sound abusive. I've pointed it out. Always sound polite. Always sound firm. Don't debate as if you're not sure of your point. Don't debate as if you have that point, but actually you don't really have, you can't defend the point. You should be able to defend your points. The next topic I have is social media has done more harm than good to students. Social media has done more harm than good to Nigerian students. As a student, what has social media done? You can even begin after your topic, your formal greeting. You can even throw a question to the audience by saying, we all are involved in one social media or the other. How do you think it has been affecting you? Can you tell me, are you bold enough to tell me that your social media platform is not a distraction to your studies? You can throw such rhetoric questions to the audience, and then you begin to tell us how you think social media has tampered with students' study habits, how it has made students not to get enough sleep at night, how it has made some students, has exposed them to certain websites that have corrupted their characters, and so on and so forth. When you do all these things, you now tell us, finish explaining those points. At some point, use rhetoric question. You can ask them, have you ever seen students involved in one crime or the other in social media? No one answers you, but you try to throw such questions, and then you tell us why all these things are harmful. At the end, you tell us, you conclude the same way I told you to conclude in the previous topic. The last one there says, mothers are more caring than fathers. Remember, I want you to note something. A topic may not be true. It may not be your opinion. That is why it's a debatable topic. If a topic of a debate is what everyone agrees with, then it's not a good debate topic. Now, when you say mothers are more caring than fathers, some group of people will say no, is a lie. Why some will agree with you? That is why it's a good debate topic. But when you say it's true, be sure you can defend that. If you say it's lie, be sure you can defend that. That is a argumentative composition. After everything, you conclude your composition. Ensure you write in correct language. Ensure you write in correct tenses. This is English language. You don't write in a haphazard way. Your work should be organized in paragraphs. Your work should be well punctuated. It's better you use simple sentences. The tenses should be good and correct, instead of writing in very large grammar and then making some mistakes. So you be sure that your argumentative composition is well written, so that whosoever is reading it should read it without pointing out errors from a particular point to the other. So that is that for argumentative composition. We are going to stop here today. Now you are going to write an argumentative composition. I just gave you a little example, but you are going to now write an argumentative essay. That is your task. Write an argumentative essay on the second topic that says social media has done more harm than good to students. Social media has done more harm than good to students. That is your topic. That is your task. make your research. You're free to ask someone question. You're free to get points from anywhere. The most important thing is to get points and write good argumentative composition. We are going to stop here today. The next time we are going to discuss another type of composition. See you sometime. Be sure to join us in our sit-at-home learning. Join us and enjoy the learning. Please, whatever you have taken note of, ensure you continue reading it so it will be part of you. Thank you.
Thank you.